who's here, so hello, hello. All right. I'm sharing everybody. So bear with me as I try to share on all platforms really quickly. All right, we're gonna get started here. We're waiting on our guests, but we'll go ahead and get started really quickly. Let's do one thing, and then I'll be ready to get started. All right, let's go, because I like to start on time as much as possible and end on time if possible. All right, so this light is blinding me, so let's do this. Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And like I said, if you're coming in, please share, share, share. I appreciate you joining us tonight. And again, we apologize for last week, but our guest had an emergency and couldn't show, so we did not want to have you come on and we weren't ready. So thank you again for coming. I am Dr. Kiva Rich McGreen, and again, you are watching Eating for Your Mental Health podcast. So again, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. Again, I am a psychotherapist and a relationship coach. However, I have suffered with depression, anxiety majority of my life, mostly depression. Not not a lot of anxiety, but some anxiety. So I have experienced anxiety. However, my depression was so severe that I literally would stay in the bed for months. I mean, literally would stay in the bed for months, especially during the wintertime. When it was cold outside, I would hibernate for months in the bed. I have lost jobs. I have lost friends. Seriously, I have lost relationships due to my depression because it was so severe. And I refused to take psychotropic medication that was prescribed to me even as early as probably 20, maybe 23. I was prescribed some medication and I refused to take it. One is because um, I just don't like taking medicine. But two is I've always worked in corporate or government. And so I knew the stigma behind having a prescription and what that would do to my career. So I always had that in the back of my mind that this would possibly stop my career. So I chose not to take medication. I chose to, for a lot of years, just simply ignore the problem. So as the years have gone on, as I've gotten real with myself and started to work on myself and do my inner work and my outer work, I finally understand, where the depression comes from, why I had depression. It's also hereditary because my family definitely suffers with depression. A lot of them, and whether they admit it or not, they do, along with many other possible diagnoses. And so it's important that in order for me to get my health right, because I started having physical ailments and as well as mental ailments, and I noticed that, and I can't live like this. Like, who's going to be on medicine the rest of their life? Not me. I couldn't lose weight. I was having problems with digestive issues. It was just a lot. Hair falling out. Had alopecia. So many migraines. sinus problems, you name it. I've had aches and pains, all those things. And I just decided one day that enough was enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I remember a friend saying that to me, like, if I had the problems you had, I would literally eat lettuce. Like, you're not sick and tired of the problem because you haven't made a change. And I was thinking to myself when she said that, I was like, how dare you? You don't know what I've been through, what I've experienced to say that to me. However, I understand that she meant it from a place of when you get sick and tired, you'll do something about it. I had literally been to doctors for years and they could tell me nothing but lose weight. And I'm saying, I can't lose weight. Like, I've tried every diet known to man. I have literally, I was regurgitating everything that I ate or drank. Even water came back up. But I was constantly gaining weight. I was not losing weight. So I'm saying to them, I'm not losing weight and I'm not eating. So how can I lose weight? Help me. But all they would say to me was, lose weight. And I'm saying, okay. So of course, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm lazy. I'm just, I'm not moving enough. I'm too sedentary. I need to move. I need to move. But that wasn't it. I'm not lazy. I work. I have always worked 2, 3 jobs. I will work. You know what I'm saying? 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I have no problem with working. That's not an issue for me. So, but the enemy gets in your head and people get in your head and start telling you things about yourself and you start to believe them because you see no solution. So again, around, what is this, 2022? So around 2019 maybe, I just said enough. So I eliminated everything out of my diet. I just went cold turkey and stopped everything and literally did liquid for 30 days. And then I started slowly incorporating food back into my diet to see what triggered me. What was, I can go on and on about the diagnosis that I had, y'all. I mean, itching. Itching is serious. Like, that's pre-diabetic. If you don't know, those are so many things that go with itching if you're always itching. Of course, the menopause. So, of course, I was going through menopause because I had a hysterectomy early 2005, maybe. I'm not good with dates. So I'm premenopausal. Okay, so I'm having hot flashes. That's another contributor to not losing weight as well. Again, like I said, the migraines. I always had sinus problems, so I was always full of mucus, so my nose constantly ran. Like I said, I had digestive issues, had stomach issues, skin problems, I bruise easily. I had dry patches on my skin from various things. And so, again, about 2019, I believe it was 18 or 19, I just said, okay, we're not going to do this anymore. So I stopped and I eliminated everything. And then, like I said, I slowly incorporated food back into my life to see the things that bother me. Not only that, but I also found me a chiropractor who did kinesthetics on me. And they were able to tell me different parts of my body that was having issues. Kidneys, and I'm saying, why are my kidneys having it? All I drink is water. All I drink is water. Kidneys, I can't think of what else right now. But not only that, I had a hiatus hernia under my breastbone, right? So they were able to stretch me out because that was another reason I couldn't lose weight because there was a blockage. And I kept telling the doctor, it's something blocking something that I can't lose weight. And what they said to me was, you have gained so much weight for your size, for your frame, that you have literally pushed your esophagus into your throat. So, of course, I thought they were quack, right? Who tells you that? Who says some stuff like that, right? How can I push my esophagus into my throat? But when I started to really think about it, like my kids are really tiny, right? Like my family is really most of them. My kids are like 0 and 1. They're size 0. My daughter is literally 90, probably 100 pounds. Okay. So I used to be that tiny. And then I thought about, okay, so if I literally gained all this weight, I have moved my organs out of the way. I have pushed them out of the way. So it is possible that I have pushed my esophagus into my throat. Duh. Okay, he may not be a quack, but he still wouldn't help me. He still was just saying lose weight. And I'm saying, I can't lose weight. So I'm saying all this to say to you that literally you can change your life with food. You can change your physical and your mental health with food. And once I eliminated certain things out of my diet that aggravated me, because again, you're going to have to know what works for you. Because what works for me may not work for you. Um, I now have eliminated the hot flashes. I started to lose weight. I do not suffer with depression anymore. I get up 6:30, 6:45 every morning now, and it's not a struggle. Before, no way. I do still suffer a little bit with anemia, cold. Um, I still have some things, and I'm constantly working on those things. This is going to be a lifelong challenge for me. And so I'm saying that to say, if you are a person who has experienced um, these symptoms or other symptoms, or even many more symptoms, you may even have schizophrenia, um, depression, what else? ADHD. Your kids may have ADHD, um, Alzheimer's, dementia, um, even autism can be. I truly believe I have seen people cure or either improve their mental health through changing their food. So tonight, we are going to continue our conversation with our guest, Prophetess Tramell. She is in the backstage. I'm going to bring her on in a minute. But if you want to, you can also go look at the first 3 episodes as well. Because again, the first 2 were with Wambui, my guest Wambui, who was amazing. And she'll tell you how she cured herself paranoid schizophrenia and mania. What else did she have? Personality disorder. She cured herself with food as well. And so we're talking to Prophetess Tramell tonight. This is our second night with her as well. You'll see her in episode 3. If you go back and look, you can find us here on Facebook, or you can go to YouTube. I haven't been able to upload episode 2 yet. I'm working on it. But tonight we're going to continue our conversation. Give me a moment. I'm going to bring her in. I see you, sis. Well, I did. Come back. All right, while we wait on her to come back. Um, so, again, I've decided to do a 6-week class, Eating for Your Mental Health. If you are interested or you know someone interested, please, please, please share. I'm going to put the link in the group for you to go register if you need to. Give me a moment. Hey, Deborah. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Tramell, are you there? I don't see you in the back room. Come back. Let me see if I can invite you. So let me get the link for you. Again, I thought I had it. If you want to register, please go register. We're going to start Wednesday, June 1st. Class starts Wednesday, June 1st at 9 p.m. That's a Wednesday as well. So what I'm probably going to do is move this live until 8 on that starting June 1st, and then we'll go straight into class afterwards. If you would like to be a guest, on here, maybe you have a story that you want to share, you are more than welcome to email me at eatingforyourmentalhealth@gmail.com. So it is in the tab. I hope you're there. Okay, let's see if we can see you now. I don't see you. Hold on. send you the link again. Let's see if it's me, because you know I am special when it comes to technology. So it could possibly be me. Oh, okay. And then see, somebody said make my post public. I tell y'all, help your sister out over here. Y'all know I'm special. I am more than special. All right, it is public now. If you want to share, let me see if she's in the room. Don't give me a hard time, please. You know what it may be? I have two phones up, Tramell, because I wanted to be able to share. So I may have to. All right, give me a minute, guys. I'm trying to get her in here. I think what I'm going to have to do is go to StreamYard on here because this iPhone doesn't have any of my contacts in it. I still don't see you, sis. I don't see you. Okay, hold on. Let me see if this is you in here now. Nope. I'm looking on both phones. Yes, I'm using StreamYard right now. I'm looking on both phones. See, y'all got me 2 times on here. I don't see you, Tramell. Hey, hey. All right, so while we're waiting on our guests to get here, we can continue our conversation. So we can continue the conversation. So like I said, I've had many instances with dealing with my mental health and dealing with issues. So again, I have to change my diet. And the first thing that I did and the first thing that I eliminated, believe it or not, was chicken. For me, it was chicken. Because I found out that every time I ate chicken, I got fever blister. So that was the hard. It was really hard. My volume is low. Okay. I'm gonna have to get an assistant to just do the technical part, right? Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if that's better, please. Let me know if you can hear me better, please. Oh, it was better when I changed phones. Ooh, okay, well, let's see. Uh-oh, sorry, I got feedback. Sorry, guys. I'm doing too much over here, right? Let's see if I can edit that in. So you can hear me better on this one, correct? Much better. Okay, perfect. All right, so now the question is, how do I move? All right, So, all right. So where was I? So what I said was the first thing I eliminated was chicken for me. Because like I said, chicken gave every time I would notice, every time I ate chicken, I would get fever blisters. I mean, 2, 3, 4, 5 in my nose, my mouth. And I was like, oh my God, like what is wrong? Like I said, I've always suffered with sinuses. So I didn't really put the two and two together for the most part because I've always had fever blisters, but not like that. So that's the first thing I eliminated because I just couldn't do it anymore. Actually, what happened was I would stop and then I would go back and I would stop and I would go back. And I remember the exact time that I quit. It was 2000. My grandmama died in 2015, I believe. So I was actually out to eat at one of my favorite chicken places in my hometown. That's what when I go home, that's my favorite place. I was ready to go. And I ate some chicken and it got stuck in my throat because like I told you, I had digestive issues. And I heard Holy Ghost clearly say to me, keep doing the same thing. You're going to keep getting the same results. And that day I made a decision, no more. I put it down that day and I never picked it up again. The second thing I eliminated was most people eliminate sugar. It took me a long time. I still do some sugar. The second thing I eliminated was drinks, sodas, which I had pretty much stopped drinking sodas anyway, but I completely let those go because first of all, they're not good. They were never good anyway to me because it was just too much sugar. I could tell the difference in the taste. So it was never really a satisfying thing to have a soda anyway. It's just that you always got a soda when you bought a meal, right? So you would drink it. And even sweet tea, I had to let that go because it was just too much sugar for me. So that's probably the second thing. And then from there, I eliminated dairy. Now that was hard too. Chicken and dairy were my two battles. Because who loves some cheese is this girl right here. Like I needed cheese on every sandwich. I could not eat a sandwich without cheese. And at the time, I wasn't trying to hear vegan cheese. That just wasn't I was like, no. So I let the dairy go. And I started with the cheese. No, I think I started with the milk. I started with the milk and I switched to almond milk. And I also do rice milk. I do goat milk. I do I probably try just about all the milk. Oat milk, goat milk, rice milk, almond milk, mostly almond milk. So I switched my milk and then I finally eliminated the cheese for me. And when I eliminated the cheese and the dairy, I instantly found out my sinuses started to dry up because dairy causes mucus in the body, right? Which causes inflammation, which inflammation is the thing that leads to all diseases is inflammation, right? So give me a moment. Let me see if I can get Tramell one more time, guys. Bear with me. This is so crazy. All right, sis. I tried it again. Hopefully it works now, okay? All right, so dairy. So what else? Then I started letting go of the meat. I had pretty much stopped the pork a long time ago. And but I would still eat it every now and then. I may eat a pork chop once or twice a year, or I may eat a rib when somebody barbecued on a holiday, something like that. But that was it. I pretty much eliminated. So then I went to beef because I was like, once I start reading up on beef, I literally could not eat it anymore. It was just making me sick. So I eliminated the beef, right? But every now and then you get this taste for a juicy, juicy hamburger. So I would still every now and then go, when I wanted a hamburger, I would go get me a hamburger. And I would satisfy that craving, and then I would be good for 6 months, 9 months, maybe even a year. So things like that. So I started with those things, and I noticed, like I said, I noticed that my stomach problems were starting to give me some relief finally, as well as, like I say, my mucus dried up. Like right now, my nose is running just a little bit, not a lot. And so I have to figure out why, right? Because today, the only thing I've had was, I know what I had. I had coffee. See? So now I know when something's going on with me, I can go back and say, what did I have? Because creamer, normally I do oat milk creamer, or I would do non-dairy creamer, something like that. But I bought some regular creamer. What is it? Delight. Yeah, I know what it is. The popular one. And so that's what it is. It's the creamer. So another thing that I had to do was eggs, believe it or not. So even though eggs is poultry, it's still part of the chicken. Remember, I let the chicken go for a reason. So mayonnaise, eggs, things like that, I had to switch out because they affected me. They made mucus in my body, literally. So those things. So I also, of course, on my mental health, I start journaling, because even though I tell all my clients to journal, that's the number one thing I tell them to do. I wasn't doing it. And I am a true believer that as a therapist, I can only take you as far as I'm willing to go. I can only take my client as far as I'm willing to go. So if I'm not going to do the work, how am I going to tell them to do the work? So I would tell them to journal because, of course, I know it works. But it's really hard for me to write down what I'm thinking, because I'm always thinking. So now I literally have probably 6 notebooks around me right now, right? So I'm always writing. I write down my scriptures for the day. I write down, I just write down everything. Anything that comes up, pretty much, I write down. I try to keep them separate, but I don't do a good job at separating. I'm supposed to have a gratitude journal. I'm supposed to have a, I'm supposed to have a gratitude journal. I'm supposed to have a venting journal, a journal where you can just get all those negative things out. And I'm supposed to have a to-do journal. And what else? Of course, dreams and goals and businesses. They are all mixed up together. They really are. I have notes everywhere. I write on everything, on the back of envelopes, in books. I just write everywhere. So I guess I can't say that I did journal. I just didn't put it in a notebook per se. I write all the time. I just didn't do it in a specific place. So one thing I do is I journal. Another thing I do is I am really good about self-care. And what I mean by that is I'm really good about me time. I have always been a person that enjoy myself, right? So I don't need people around me for me to feel important or needed or heard. I'm good. I can sit in silence for 8 hours. I'm so good with me. So that's one thing that really does help my mental, is that I'm able to be one with myself. I'm able to be quiet and listen to the Holy Spirit talk to me. I can be quiet and just meditate. I think that's so important. I think a lot of people refuse to turn the noise off because the quiet is so loud. And I think that's another reason why we suffer with a lot of mental health issues as well, because with our brain is so stimulated. Of course, now with um, cell phones and television going all the time, music going all the time, something always going. So we're overstimulated, especially our children. So this is another reason why we see an influx in mental health on top of everything else that's going on, right? So I'm good about being still and being quiet. Now, I can be on the go. Most people who know me know that I'm mostly all the time in the car driving, always on the go. But I have learned how to slow down. I have learned how to say no. So hard. I have I have learned how because I was a people pleaser, right? So I wanted to make people feel comfortable. Yay, I think she's here. She's here. Make people feel comfortable. So I was always enabling people. So that's another mental health thing, right? So that comes from trauma, that comes from childhood abandonment, that comes from um, issues with my self esteem, my self worth. So I was always including people and had people and always doing for people because I didn't feel like I was good enough unless I was always doing something. So our guest is here. I'm going to bring her on. I see you, cuz I'm gonna read your message. I'm gonna read your posts in a minute. Look at all that. Wow. So she's here. She's here. Oh my God.
Hello. Yes.
I
How are
know, right?
you? Hi.
The adversary is trying
Hello.
to block us tonight.
I know I wasn't even worried about it. I just stood right
Me
here
either.
calm.
Me either, sis. How you
I
doing?
ain't going there. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I just want to say greetings to you and to everyone. And hello, I'm here. I
All right.
did also want to, as I was listening, because I don't never want, even for you or me, any type of unnecessary thing to come to us. I heard I never dealt with schizophrenia. Okay. I wanted to be clear on that. I have never dealt with schizophrenia. I have worked with people with schizophrenia, but I didn't myself have
If
schizophrenia.
I said you, I'm sorry. I was saying my first guest,
Yes.
one boy. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Yeah, no, because I just wanted to be clear because I don't want anyone to ever think I don't need to do anything extra. I have enough problems in my life. I don't
Going
need
on.
nothing
Okay. She
extra.
like,
Okay.
don't add nothing to the list. Please don't add nothing to the list. I
No,
got
it's not that. It's just coming out of things, we have enough and we don't need nothing else. And that's all. And then as well as I honor you and who you are and what you're doing. And I would never want anyone to say, I remember, anything and never have an effect to you because I honor you very much so.
Thank you.
Praise
You know
God.
I love you.
Yes.
Look, we have grown leaps and bounds in the last few months, right? It's just been
Yes.
amazing what God is doing in our relationship
Yes.
with each
Yes.
other and for each other
Yes.
and what we're going to do in the
Yes.
world. And
Yes.
so I appreciate you again coming back. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Like I say, the first
You're welcome.
show was so powerful. I was like, we are not done. We have to continue
Right.
this conversation.
Yes.
And for
Yes.
those who missed it, go back and watch episode 3. I'm telling you, her story is powerful. We didn't even get, I don't think even got to the meat of it because we were so um just talking about the awe of God, the goodness of God. And so we're gonna jump in if that's okay with you. I know
Yes.
that I think where we left off last week and just I mean, not last week, but the week before, I hope that you can remember, is we talked about things that you started with. And I think the first thing you said, like one buoy was sugar. Is that correct? Did you say you
Yeah.
wanted sugar
I
first?
still fight with that, actually.
Me too.
Sugar and my greatest is fried foods.
Okay. Fried
Fried,
foods. Okay. Okay.
fried. I still struggle. Just the other day I was like, I want me some fried beef ribs, and I'm not saying that I won't have them, but I have to do
Right.
moderation.
In
Moderation
moderation.
is
That's the
definitely key.
most important thing. That's the most
Yeah,
important thing. I
moderation.
tell people all the time, I really don't deprive myself of anything. If I have a taste for something, I will get that, eat it, and then I'm done. I'm not a glutton in it anymore where I used to just pig out. you know what I'm saying? I would especially sugar. Like I was a sweet and carb freak. Like give me some popcorn or give me some cake or both. And that was my thing. And so I've learned discipline. I think that's where we were. Discipline. I've learned discipline and moderation in how to eat and be satisfied. And now you're good. And then I can go 30 days or 60 days with nothing. And then I may get a craving again. But I also want to talk about checking your emotions when you get that craving. What's going on at the time that you have that craving that's causing you to want that? I mean, I'm just thinking. So you've had a fried food craving the other day. I cannot. Are you on mute? We're gonna be great tonight, and I mean that. But give her a moment, y'all. Let's see what's going on with the sound here. So I was trying to find something. One thing I learned was if you crave, like I said, I crave salt, carbs. I used to carbs, right? I mean, you have an underlying anger problem that you need to deal with. There's some anger issues deeply embedded in you when you have a craving for those foods. I'm trying to find my one for sugar because sugar is abandonment issues. That means there's some things you need to work out in yourself dealing with self-worth, self self-identity when you're craving a lot of sugar, like the salty, the the carbs, the pastas. That's an underlying anger thing that you need to figure out what's going on internally with you. And like I said, the sugar is dealing with self-worth, self-esteem, abandonment issues. So you need to figure out what's going on there. So everything has a relation if we can remember that, right? I don't believe there's any coincidences in life. And so everything is um, it has a point, it has a trigger, it has a place, it came from somewhere. It's not just a happenstance that it occurred. And so when we can get in touch with our emotions and we can understand why we're dealing with things, then we can have a better chance of fixing that thing or curing that thing, if that makes sense. So again, being in touch. So if I get to a point like I'm a researcher, right? I love to research. I love knowledge. I love information. So I'm gonna bring her back in.
Yes, I had to go out and come back in. Yes.
Okay.
If anybody knows anything about the Lord, you guys need to pray. Yes, yes.
Prayer
The Lord had,
warriors, let's pray for the
yes,
technology,
just
for the
pray.
streaming.
Yes. Because I'm coming straight out of work. And then I was praying while I was working, as well as see some things that's going on that I've been praying about. And as well, there's a lot going on. And this is also aggravating hell when you're teaching and talking about those things to deal with life in a healthy way, as well as that both of us on our places respectively are definitely signs that it's able to be done. And so we know the enemy don't like that. And in the name of Jesus, I cancel every
Every
technical challenge that's trying to happen, any disturbances and hindrance, I cancel them because the enemy wants us to move. And I'm very actually real calm. I just know that moving forward, I believe that I'm going to go into even a more intense prayer, even when I'm on, or even just for you if I'm not on, because I do believe it is very important that we don't forget that the real course source of everything came from our prayers. And it's
absolutely.
necessary. We can learn everything we want to, but our prayers is what's going to make a change to it. And I'm saying that for me. personally, because it's ridiculous. I had to go out and come back in. I was in the backstage. I was on the one link. It said that it ended. So I don't know what I'm about to say or we're going to
Right.
get out today for
That's right.
whoever's listening. I'm just going to say, may it just hit something and target something and pull somebody out of a place to straight to heaven in Jesus'
Absolutely.
name.
Yes. That's
I
right.
really do.
Yes, we touch and agree right now that the Lord, that the airways cooperate, they line up, the wavelengths, the everything falls in line, Lord. And the message that we have to go forth tonight, it must gonna be powerful. I'm telling you, it's gonna be powerful and change some lives because he don't want you to get this out tonight.
Right.
He
And
don't
you
want
want to
you to
know
get
what's
this
so
out.
funny? This particular session, I got an instruction about to mention one thing, and maybe it's that. Maybe I should have just got that off my chest straight off the bat
Started with that,
and
right?
just got I should have just started right there and just got rid of it. So maybe let me just pass it off right now in
Okay.
Jesus' name. And my note was today, for whoever is listening, to know when enough is enough in relationships.
Oh,
And the reason being, because I have in this past week and even just recently, and I kept hearing it, and he said to me, share that know when enough is enough in unbalanced and toxic and dysfunctional relationships. I
wow.
am I am continually to pray and encounter people that are in damaging mental space,
Mm,
lacking peace, under depression, oppression, and so much because they're trying to be loyal to a relationship that is
mm,
doing them no good.
wow.
And
Well,
it's
that's
so
for
heavy in
somebody.
my spirit.
That's for somebody watching here today. That
Yes,
could
because
be,
it's
and
so
that doesn't
heavy.
have to be a physical relationship. That can be
No, it does
a
not.
relationship with your mother, your child, your sibling, your neighbor, your coworker, whatever relationship that is hindering you right now, it's enabling you, it's so heavy on you, and you're trying to understand what is this weight you're carrying. Lay it down.
Lay it down because it's so heavy on me. This is not the forum. We're not going to go that, but anyone that is dealing with any depression in a relationship, it
Mm,
does not have to be intimate with another relation, like a opposite sex.
right.
I'm talking about any relationship where it's draining, where is a lack of accountability, where, and I just want to give you the signs just in case you are
One
knowing
sided.
it is, or you're
Mm,
starting to think, am I crazy? No, you see what you see. People need to recognize the signs of the inability to have accountability in relationships and is not reciprocating at a balance. Relationships are the number one reason that a lot of people go into depression and even commit suicide. It is a relationship and the need of pleasing people and having people around. These relationships are pulling people down, and I need people. It's just on me so heavy, and that's the reason why I want to mention this. Is because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Get you some therapy. Get you some help. Please connect with people that have a positive outlook on life, that you can tell it without them judging you. It's just too many people that I see right now, as well as me myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. The season that we're in right now, God is getting rid of dead weights. Let me tell you something. And with that being said, even without you doing it, you stop trying to be loyal to
wow.
disloyalty. That is
Wow.
disloyal to
Mm,
yourself. And I'm not talking to somebody about being loyal to somebody else. I'm talking about being loyal to yourself. A lot of people think they need to be loyal to other people. No, you need to be loyal to yourself. You're trying to please people that are draining you, pulling you down, got you not want to come around, don't want you to release your sound, don't want you to, you just don't want to eat, you don't want to even live because you're trying to please these people that really can't even see the blindness of their depression, and they're just like they're just sucking you and sucking you. And that's the way I see it. And whoever is in a relationship, it does not have to be opposite sex. It could be someone you're trying to help. It could be someone who's to say when they're going to get delivered, and if they do. Some people are so stuck in these ways they don't
mm,
come out.
mm.
Please don't suffer because you're trying to be loyal to someone else while you're being disloyal to yourself, is all I want to say.
So let me ask you a question. Did you even hear me say that before you came on the first time? Because that was the
No.
conversation I was having before you came on the
Wow.
first time
No.
about people pleasing and being in
Jesus.
relationships
No, I
that
didn't.
okay, because again, I don't know. This was our
That's just
conversation on
that's unison. See, that's unison. That's what I call that. That's unison.
on episode 3. We couldn't even get to the food because we were talking about this right here. And I know you probably remember me saying I was physically sick because I shut my mouth to please people. I got so sick because I closed my mouth. You understand what I'm saying? I know that's where the digestive problems came from because
Yes.
I would not speak my truth. I allowed people to mute my voice. And what happened
Mm-hmm.
was it physically made me sick. I mean, I was regurgitating every all day and night. My husband, I mean, ulcers. They thought I had stomach cancer. They were testing me for everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I
Yes.
closed my mouth to please
Mm-hmm.
people who didn't even like me anyway. So I'm sitting around people who don't even really want me there. They're using me for what they could get from me or whatever they see on me, whatever their excuse or their reason was. And I was
Right.
so busy trying to keep the peace because like I said, as I grew up, I was such a bold child. I always spoke my truth no matter what. And I people told me I was too loud, I was too much. So I dumbed myself down to please people and I was sick.
Yep.
So I have learned that on this journey, I have found a balance. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be
Right.
brash and hurt your feelings, but I also don't have to be
Right.
quiet to please you either. I'm going to
No.
speak my truth and you can take
Right.
it or leave it. Because, like I said, I'm only responsible for what comes out of my mouth. I'm not responsible for how you receive
How
it.
you
And so,
comprehend
if
it.
you
That's
have a
right.
problem with anything that I say, then it's you because I promise you, I don't do anything malicious or mean. I'm not even that type of person. That's not
Right.
even my heart. I don't even come from that place. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the
Yep.
old, yeah, you could have said that was nasty and she meant it because I did. But now
Mm-hmm.
I am not that person. I'm not a mean person. I'm not a nasty person. I'm not a malicious person. I always care about people's feelings. So like I tell people all the time, I swallow 3 times before I say it because I want to make sure I say it correctly. So the fact that you say
Right.
I still offended you is you.
Right.
And now I'm
Right.
okay with that. And so I say that to say this. If you want to get your mental health straight, you have to get delivered from people. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to get delivered from people pleasing. You cannot
Yes.
be worried about what everybody gonna say, think, or do because that alone is gonna mess with your mental.
Yes,
Here.
because this is the thing too. It affects your nervous system. And I don't
Yes.
think people understand that because I'm a studier too, and it affects your nervous system. And that's what's the problem. You're nervous all the time. That's where the anxiety come in.
Stress.
The inability to breathe.
Yes.
Like, come on, let's come break out of this place where we just been just not getting help. We need help. I just told someone today, therapy is not bad. Okay. And it is okay. You're not even always going to therapy for you. You're going to therapy for other people because you need to learn how to cope with them. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because
Yes.
people are all the way, and no disrespect, because I call it ace a spade a spade. You know me. Some people are all the way crazy,
Yes.
and they cannot see that.
And I try not to use that word, but yes. Go ahead.
I don't try to do it because I do pray for them. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but a crazy spirit is a crazy spirit, and if we try not to call out a crazy spirit, it's still gonna stay there. Like, oh, okay, I'm okay. No, you're not okay because this is crazy for you to. People really don't get that their bad behavior is not acceptable.
I
It's
think
just
that
not.
I think the issue is, and I say this all the time. I think we really don't know what, and I really hate to use this word, crazy is. We don't know what we're looking at. And then number two, I think that what's up? We try to be logical with illogical people. It's not possible. You're trying to you're trying to justify reasoning with an unreasonable person. And I say this all the time to people. I'm like, that's not possible. You're trying to have a conversation with a person who cannot comprehend what you need from them. Period. It's not going to happen. So now you're frustrating yourself. You're upset. You're stressed out. But then you keep going around and around in this circle with this person.
Right.
Because you expect them to be something that they cannot be. They cannot give you rational conversations, make rational decisions,
Right.
be competent enough to fulfill what you need from them. They can't give you that. And I think the frustration is, I think a lot of times we make up in our mind that, first of all, people are like us. We want everybody to be like us. That's not true. Everybody's not. Everybody doesn't do it the way you do it. Everybody don't see it the way you see it. Two, we see people from our own lenses. You see what I'm saying? Like we don't want to see the truth. We don't want those rose-colored glasses. That's not it. That's who they are. Either one, accept them, or two, leave it. That's what I know. That's one of my strengths is I accept people for where they are.
But at the same time, you know what? This is what concerns me because I know people that have actually, wanted to take their life.
Yes.
And so my thing is releasing is one thing, but when you see things in that perspective of that level of depression, I don't know about anyone, but I've seen the different levels of depression. I've been around it, to know offhand how detrimental it can be. And the reason why this is my passion is because of the mentality of they build a whole scenario. The mind, they have a whole vision of the view of you and other people that is all made up in their mentality of pain, of unhealed pain. And no matter what you do, it's like, okay, so I just can never please you because you're hurt. And then the more I try to tell you, I believe this is where your pain is at, they still try to bleed on you.
Absolutely. So what do you do? Because I know what I do. What do you do?
So for me personally, I say, look, this is my boundary.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is my boundary. Look, you're not the only one dealing with anything. I'm not trying to not empathize with your issues, but honey, I came from away and we all got to come through them. Maybe you need more help than just here. You need to get you some other outlets. You need to seek someone to get therapy. If it's spiritual, and you like have Christian beliefs and stuff, go find. They have now so many options of therapy. You can find someone that believes in the Word of God. You can choose your therapist. You can choose the type of therapist. You can read their credentials. You can get this, know what it is, but get some help because a lot of people are trying to put a whole lot of weight on just one person, and it's just not possible.
I agree.
We need Jesus and we need therapy.
Girl, my friend got a shirt that say that. I also believe that when setting boundaries, we also have to be okay with walking away. And I think that's the hard part, especially for Christians, because I think we've been taught, oh, you help, you pray, you stay, you don't leave. But if it's affecting your capacity to function, if it's affecting your mental, physically, emotional health, you have to you should walk away. And the reason I say that is because everybody is not ready to do the work, period. It doesn't mean that you don't care. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that, but it means that they're not ready yet. And everybody has to get to their place where they're ready to do what they need to do for them. Does it make sense? And I think we want to rush people's process. No. How long did it take you to get to where you are? How long did it take for your light bulb to go off? You know what I'm saying? So how many times did somebody tell you something over and over again before rung true for you. And the same thing for them. I'm not saying abandon them per se, never answer the phone, never be there. But at the same time, you must set boundaries where you're not continue to enable behaviors over and over
Right.
again that in effect
Right.
affect your life.
Right.
And that's the things I used to do. And I know I did. I would drop
Mm-hmm.
my stuff to help other people in crisis and leave
Mm-hmm.
my stuff on the back burner because they
Yep.
are. But if you don't
And
care
then,
nothing about your crisis, but you want me to care about
yep, and then you know what? And I know, and I can say, raise my hand for the guilty in that, and then wonder why you're able to help everybody out of their stuff, and you sitting here struggling in yours,
it. Right.
and you're like,
Right.
wait a minute, how did I help that? But I'm over here crying at night. I'm
Oh yeah,
over here
definitely.
just frustrated, and dealing with things, but I'm trying to do it in the right way. And then the one thing I also know about. One that really genuinely try to help people and have that problem, speaking from my door, my own stone is that becomes now our necessity. Like, I gotta be helping somebody. I'm not complete unless I'm
Well,
helping you out of your fires. If I don't gotta
it
go in
makes
and
you
block
feel
it,
good. Let's
and,
just be
and
honest.
now you feel like that's your necessity,
It
and so
makes
that's
you feel
why.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying that the boundary of healthy relationship is necessary. It's very necessary. And God forbid you have a narcissist. Oh my God. You're gonna need delivery on top of delivery, on top of therapy, on top of therapy, on top of therapy, and
Absolutely.
continuous therapy, because you just will, that's just what you're gonna need. Bottom line.
Well, manipulation at any degree. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Manipulation at any degree, not just narcissists. And I know, that's the thing now. We want to really focus on narcissism. And don't get me wrong, it's real. But what I'm saying is manipulation and control from any degree is a
Absolutely.
problem. And the
I
reason I say
agree.
this is because I know for me, I come from a controlling family, right? And
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
was used to being controlled without realizing that's what it was, right? So I chose those type of people in relationships. I chose people who learn how to manipulate and micromanage me, right? Even though, don't get me wrong, I'm a strong-willed person,
Yes.
and I've never been a person that really succumbed to peer pressure. Because when I put my foot down, I'm done. I'm not going to do dumb stuff.
Absolutely.
But at the
Absolutely.
same time, I am, I was very um dependent, right? Dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always was told, uh, you're goofy, you're clumsy, you're weird, you're different, you're so I would always choose people who I thought were better in certain areas. Does that make sense? So, because to compensate for my weaknesses that I had, clumsiness, goofy, because I used to fall, girl. I used to fall on air. I used to be just really,
Okay.
really goofy, right? And then my husband called me a Becky because he said I'm the smartest white girl he ever met because things just go literally over my head. And no offense to anybody out. You know what I'm saying? Like you could say something
Yeah.
and it just be like, what? Because he'll call me an airhead because I don't understand. But I was a little slow with getting with the slang and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they
Mm-hmm.
would look
Mm-hmm.
at me like, oh my God, she's slow. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I would overcompensate by finding people in relationships who I deemed were smarter than me, and they took advantage of that because all I knew was control and manipulation. Does it make sense? So those are the relationships I went after because I thought those people knew better than me. But little did I know, not true.
Right.
Not
Right.
true. So once I figured out, oh, it's not that they're smarter than me. It's just that they may be a little bit faster, quick witted than me. They may be able to come back with the comebacks quick. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've always attracted people who are funny, if that makes sense. I like smart, funny people. So
Okay.
they would be able to use humor because again, remember things would go over my head. So they could be talking about me in my face and I may get it tomorrow.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'd be like, this mom be like, you know what? They was slick. They just really talked about me.
Right.
But because they deemed me weaker than them, they took advantage of that. And I allowed it because I was in a position where um I thought they were better than me. So now that I'm delivered from all that, thank God I'm delivered. I had to
Yeah.
go back to my roots, right? I had to go back to my family and understand why I kept reaching for these type of people. But like I said, my family has always controlled me. As a child, I did exactly what they told me to do because I knew they knew what was best for me, or I assumed they did, right? And I knew that I also this is where I was going with this because I was like, where was I going with this? Where I was going was it's benefiting you in some way. So the reason I allow people to do things to me is because, or to manipulate me, is because I got something out of it somewhere. It ain't just one sided. Think about that. So I got something out of it somewhere. So for my family, by me being a good girl, being obedient, they gave me everything I wanted. I never had to ask for anything. Does that make sense? So why wouldn't I do exactly what they tell me to do? I let them control me because in the end, I got material stuff. Does that make sense? And the same thing with these people that I attracted. Somewhere along the line, I got something out of that relationship that I felt I needed, or I wouldn't have been there. And that's where I was going with that. Even though it seems one-sided, you're benefiting from it somewhere or you wouldn't stay. Because once the benefits runs out, that's when you then say, I'm out. Or they then say, I'm out. So we also have to look at how are we using each other. Because
Hmm.
my motto is everybody get used, don't get misused.
Yeah, and I agree with that too because, like I was saying, and that's the reason why I believe it's very important about the relationship. Because, see, I was the opposite, so I was the bold one. Okay, and being in the city, our comeback is quick. You get what I'm saying? And we walk quick, we learn quick, we talk quick, and a lot of times they say like, well, I know because I went from south to north, and I traveled and where I was at in New York, when I got south, I was ahead. If that makes sense. So I
Yeah.
was, and so now they're trying to slow me down, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna work for me. I'm bored. You get what I'm saying? And so for me, and mine, it was controlling. Well, my controlling and my family was okay. I'll do this, but you got to do this. But
Mm-hmm.
you can get this, but you got to do like this,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
you can
So,
have that, but you got to have it like that. But then it still didn't work because my parents split when I was young, and I was getting regardless. And UPS truck was just like my family because I
right.
seen that every week. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I had
Mm-hmm.
more shoes than I had feet, and
Right.
I was the opposite. And then being a city girl, like clothes and stuff, that was just like normal. To be honest with you, I was the tomboy, didn't want the stuff. Like I'm like, I didn't ask you to buy that because you trying to give me gifts to make up for how you feel, the way you really treating me. So that was my thing. And so that's probably why I formed the meaning it hits me harder with these relationships because I know the level of oppression comes from a relationship,
Yeah.
especially when you got these expectations
Yeah.
that a person had never planned on meeting. And it was just never going to be balanced. And you right, manipulation is. And so my biggest thing, like I do agree, was it was my need of having the help because I had the help since I was young. Remember, I told you that was my story. I had to be there. My mom used to literally wake up and call my name in her sleep.
So let's get back to it. Okay, so your mother,
Yes,
you grew up with your mother in having mental health problems. That
hmm
affected you, of course, as it would any child. And so later, this caused issues for you growing up and later on in relationships and as you
absolutely.
develop, correct? And so,
Mm-hmm.
at what point did you decide, or the light bulb went out for you, and you said, "Oh my God, like I can't do this anymore"?
When I got tired of me being tired of me, or tired of me being tired of me. Like I was tired of the up and down. I was tired of, you know, accepting what I knew was hurting me. I was tired of knowing for a fact that I'm giving myself to people that's really not giving me
Mm-hmm.
anything that supports me with being happy. Or this was the big one too. When I'm happy, they're down. And it's like, wait, what,
Wow.
how in the world me being happy made you sad? And that,
So you
then
could
I did a
never,
shutdown.
so
Mhm.
you could never enjoy your happiness. You could never be you, basically. You always had
Mhm.
to accommodate. That's what I hear. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, all the
Okay.
way,
Okay.
all. And I
Mm.
was the strong one. I even as a young one and having, I still was the one. Call her, call her, call her. She gonna do it. She gonna do it. She gonna do it. To the fact that it was so normal that even to this day, call her, she'll get it done.
Mm.
And that's normal for me. And then I had to, when I got to this place, glory be to God, is I had to be like, well, look, I'm not able to do that, or I'm not available, or these are the hours that I'm talking to God and I'm praying and I'm not available. Don't call me at this time, please. I'm
So
not
you
okay.
you
Yes.
said boundaries. So how did that work for you setting boundaries? Because you know people who manipulate and control don't like boundaries.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, I got a lot of kickback. I still get kickback to today. But
Okay.
guess what? When you're delivered over from people and yourself, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So along with changing your boundaries and your relationships, how did you change your, well, you told me that you grew up around your family members who were Muslim. So they taught you how to eat healthy for the most part, is that correct?
Yeah, so we used to see each other like very frequently, and we spent 7 years down south. So their eating was different than mine, and I, to be very honest with you, but I didn't find it bad. I just didn't. I didn't find it bad. It didn't bother me even to this day. Like so today, I had a grilled chicken, but I put kale with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I ate all day because I knew I was coming on, so I didn't eat anything else. As well as I like sweets. What I did, I found this recipe for some oat, chocolate oat baked oatmeal brownie
Mm-hmm.
bars.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so using oatmeal and coconut milk and syrup and some cocoa, you know what I mean? And you can use chocolate chips, but because it was the coconut milk and that helped with the, if I wanted some chocolate and if I wanted that, but I wasn't doing all the deep,
Sugar and all the
sugars that I
yeah,
did. Right.
flour, white, all that. Yeah. Okay. So
Hmm.
you just learned to substitute.
I'm still learning.
Okay.
I'm still learning.
Right. Me too. Me too. Like
Yes, yes.
I made spaghetti meat out of walnuts the other day. Pecans. Pecans.
Really?
I did the pecans and I did walnuts before. But yeah, I did the pecan meat with some lentil beans and mushrooms, onions. Um yeah, and it was delicious to me. I loved it. So I got that from Tabitha Brown. Watched her do it and I did it. And so just learning to substitute things so you don't deprive yourself of what you
Right.
want. It's just changing your palate as well. And the more you
Hmm.
change your palate and take things out, you're going to notice that you enjoy more food than you probably think you do. I know I used to did not eat onions and tomatoes on anything. Like I cook with the onions, because I know it seasons your food, but I wouldn't eat them. Now I love onions, peppers, tomato. I can eat that in everything. So the more you take things out, some of the wrong things out, you'll notice that you will start developing a palate for better foods and different foods. So I'm a fish girl, right? Like I love salmon. I keep saying every year I'm going to eliminate all meat. And that's like one of the hardest things for me to let go is the fish. I love fish. Are you stuck?
Fish.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm just thinking because I'm thinking, fish isn't really meat.
It's not okay. So see,
No.
depending on who you ask.
That's
Some
why
people,
I was looking.
some people say
That's I
fish
would have
is
said
meat.
yes.
Some people say tuna is meat.
Okay.
Some people say it's not. It just depends on who you ask.
Okay. So this is the thing. So today I was looking over at my desk because I'm over at my desk. And so today what I had, and because I didn't want to eat, but that one time earlier, I was eating pecans, honey roasted pecans.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that too. I'm a nut person. Like I like to add nuts. Like my salad, I love slivered
Yeah.
almonds,
Mm-hmm.
sliced almonds in my salad. To the fact that I don't believe my salad is a salad if I don't have my sliced almonds in them.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, I love my salad with sliced almonds. I love, cashews, and I like to incorporate nuts in my diet as well,
Okay.
and with my greens. And I'm a ginger person. I don't know about if we got
I,
any other ginger person. I'm a
you
ginger
know,
person.
remember, I love ginger with you. We talked about this.
I,
Every day I have my
yes,
ginger lemon tea.
yep.
I eat my ginger. I put it in my drinks, my water.
Hmm.
I love
Hmm.
ginger. I think ginger is the cure all for everything. I probably should do a ginger commercial.
Right. Listen, I got ginger chews, ginger lounges.
Yeah, don't
I
make me
love
pull
me
them out.
some ginger. I put the ginger in my food. I'm steak incorporating some type of recipe, putting some ginger in there, and because it actually boosts its taste,
Yeah,
actually,
it
and it's
does.
good for the diet. I just got this new. I won't do
Definitely.
any names because I don't want to,
Definitely.
start anything. But I got this new tea that I got, and it's a ginger, lemongrass, and turmeric.
Is,
I
is that
love
the
that
one you
tea.
shared with me?
It might be because I'm in love with it. It's got
I have to,
turmeric.
I kept the
Hmm.
package so I could find it online. Of course, it's not here now. But anyway, I kept the package, because I drank the tea that you gave me, and I kept the package so I could research and find it. So I could
Oh, that
purchase
was
it.
the other one. That's one of my other favorite ones. That's my green tea, the ginger with the green tea.
That's right,
No,
green
this
tea.
one is a
Yeah.
new one. It's green as well, but it got turmeric, ginger, and lemongrass, I believe, with
Oh
it.
wow.
But
Okay.
yes, I love those,
So
and I'm a
listen,
ginger person.
if
Hmm.
y'all go register for my class, we're gonna talk about all these foods and why they matter and how they help. We're not gonna get into it on this podcast. You have to go register for the class. The link is in the chat box up at the top, I believe. So go register for the class. It starts June 1st, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Like I said, we're gonna move the class to 8 p.m. and we're gonna go straight. I mean, the podcast at 8 to 8 starting June 1st, and then we'll go right into the class on June 1st at 9 p.m. Sorry to cut you off, Tremaine.
No, no,
Okay,
no. You're fine. Do what you got to
because
do.
we say these things all the time, and I don't think people understand. They're like, well, why ginger? Why this? Ginger is healing, like you said. It helps with the digestive. It helps with stomach problems. Um, so much. I can't even
Yes.
go into it. I was telling somebody the other day. I think my aunt. I take my tinctures every day. So I have like black walnut and wormwood.
Oh,
Um,
yes. That's what I got to get some more of, some wormwood. I was just being told something about wormwood the other day. I got to get me some
mhm.
wormwood.
I do polyarco bark. Have you heard of that?
Hmm.
So
Yes, I did.
okay,
Someone was just, I've been getting these new recipes because I'm trying to get these for a natural way of allergies, because believe it or not, some of our allergies come and stimulate to what we've been eating.
absolutely not some. Oh,
Hmm.
absolutely. I know it's seasonal as well. I know it's environmental as well. I got you. All those things contribute, but food is like the number one. Chlorophyll.
Oh,
Um,
yes, that's good. That's good.
I do my
That
CBD.
chlorophyll is very good. That is very
I do
good.
my CBD oil.
I see.
Um,
Oh, I love that too. Hmm.
I have my magnesium and zinc. Like this is huge for me. So one
Now, do
thing
you blend yours in with something, or do you put them under your tongue?
I actually put them in just a little drop of water and drink it.
Okay, because it actually works very good putting it under your tongue.
hmm I just and that's what I was first doing. Then I just started dumping them into some water and drinking.
Oh, okay.
But I found out for me that I
I'm
had
a
a
black
bad.
seed oil too. Black seed
Black
oil.
seed is good. I have charcoal. Yes, I do charcoal peels. I did have the
Okay.
charcoal liquid, but I do charcoal peels as well.
Okay.
So um I found out for me, a lot of my things was fungi infection. You understand what I'm saying? Like I had a bacteria yeast infection thing going on with my body, even
Mm.
with the alopecia. Okay, so the fungus had set up in my body that was causing my hair to come out. Right, I had a fungus on the top of my scalp, not knowing I had it. It was, you
Mm.
couldn't see it. I could smell it. I couldn't see it. And I'm gonna tell you where it came from. I used to wash my hair and I used to put a cap on it. You know, like a,
And let it stay moist.
and the moisture caused a fungus. So the fungus went through my system. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where the stomach problems come in. I had a toe fungus where your toenail gets black. Okay, all these things are connected. Like they taught us this on Electric Company, Sesame Street, all those things like the knee bone connected to the thigh bone. Like it's that serious. Like everything that goes in your body affects you from head to toe. I don't think we realize that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this for years. So a lot of my problem has been yeast, bacteria build up. So that's why I do the wormwood, and that's why I do the polyarco bark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it helps cleanse your system, along with
Yes. The chlorophyll does too.
the chlorophyll is excellent.
Yes.
Just know that it gets on everything. Everything's gonna be green. Everything you touch is gonna be green. It's
Right.
gonna be all right. It washes off. Another one is I love spirulina. Do you use spirulina in your juicing? I
Yes.
love
You
spirulina.
do you like the blue one or the green?
I do green. I do all green.
Okay, because I have the green, but I heard that there's some good effects in the blue.
Blue, I mean, I've never looked into the blue. I'll go look it up, but I've never looked into the blue.
Look into the blue. I had it. I had it in a smoothie. Uh, with ginger,
Of course,
I believe it was ginger and
of
berries.
course.
Yes, but I had the blue one because in the city you can go into a lot of the the like Jamaican spots
Yeah,
or stuff like that, and they make those drinks, and they're awesome. And they usually use
awesome.
honey
Yeah.
and that, and they use the blue, and so I had the blue, and it was good.
And I
As
mean, you know, you coming from a great place like New York City with the melting pot, where you have access to all of
mm-hmm.
these places, these different cultures, and all of this information is amazing. A lot of people don't have access to this information as well, so
Right,
it makes a difference when you don't grow up around that, and
right, right.
especially in the South, you would think we would maybe be a little bit more in tune to it growing up with, you know, our grandparents, great grandparents who grew up on these things, but we've lost it along the way, and we don't have access to a lot of these items like we used to. So yeah,
Because they make processed food so easy to get.
that's
And it's
true.
either buy one, get one free and get this and get that. And a lot of people don't understand that investing in your eating is investing in you, because what you put in is what's gonna come out. And a lot of things, if I had money, I'm so serious, from every time somebody gets my age wrong, I will be rich from that alone. Because the preservation, and I do believe is like, so they when I was younger, they said my iron was low. My mother gave me liver.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
what I
Yes,
mean? She gave me liver.
I
She
remember
gave
those
me
days.
spinach.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I
yeah.
had to eat that. Rutabagas. Oh God, I didn't even like rutabagas, but she gave me
I don't either.
rutabagas.
Yeah, yeah.
Brussels sprouts. I
Brussels
mean, it's
sprouts.
just different
Love them
things,
now,
you
though.
know.
I love them now. I love
Oh,
Brussels sprouts. Yeah.
I roast me some Brussels sprouts and put some olive oil on it, and put me a little bit of sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, and
I
some
had some.
pepper. I could just eat that.
I had
Hmm.
those with the walnut, with the pecan meat. I did both times with the pecan meat that I made. I put
Okay.
the Brussels sprouts with those and some pasta. Yeah. Um. What else? Okay, so we eliminate the sugar. What else did you do to help you function mentally?
Me personally, I can't speak for anyone. I do a lot of intermediate fasting. I
Yes,
do. I
me
do a
too.
lot of fasting, intermediate fasting, and even though it's spiritual, it's just helped with my mental as well.
Okay.
Fasting, and it's just normal for me till that. Sometimes if I don't, it's like, did I even eat? And I have to literally sometimes like, did I even eat today? And those of my sisters that love me, and they be like, did you eat? Because they know like I'll have this like one meal, and then I have to watch that too
Right.
because it's like me not eating now my weight. I'm like, Dad, I barely eat. How in the world these jeans don't fit? That's because now my body's trying. So I have to make sure I remind myself to have some balance there. So what for me, even with my age now, I know that like so what I do is I like to eat like use probiotics
Mm-hmm.
and add those as well. So I eat that. I like to incorporate also like yogurt, with that, and make sure I'm getting good cultures inside of me as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times that is also very important, especially when you're in your age and you're starting to, get over your 30s. You need to be really able to understand that we need to be able to deal with those as well, be able to have healthy input in our for our stomach. Our body goes through a lot of things, and
Absolutely.
our digestive system is the major thing. It's
Yes.
always
Yes.
the digestive.
What
Yes.
else I realized is I realized that I was malnutrition. That's another thing, like,
Hmm.
because what I was eating wasn't um supporting what my body needed, right? Because of course, for the main thing, we were eating out a lot of fast food, right? So you're doing a lot of,
Right.
you're doing a lot of hamburgers, you're doing a lot of chicken, you're doing a lot of pizza, things like that. But not only do we are we malnutrition, it's also what we're eating. Is it absorbing? Is it sticking to your cells and your body? See, that's another thing. We may be taking all these things in, but are they absorbing into your body, or are they just going
Right.
through? So that's another thing we have to talk about as well, because we may be getting some things, but it's still not effective for what we need in our body. And that's why
Right.
you really
Right.
have to listen to your body and know your body.
Right.
Like, what
Right.
works for me will not work for you.
Hmm.
I know that
Hmm.
I'm a person who really needs vegetables. I do better with a plant-based diet. I do better with,
Okay. Me
you
too.
know, greens, spinach. I feel better. I have more. I'm not a meat person. My body doesn't take meat well, but I know some people who need meat. Some people need red meat. They need that meat for
Right.
the
That's
blood.
true.
They need that meat for. So I'm not telling anybody to stop doing anything. You need to figure out what works for you and your body, and you're gonna have to figure that out. And then,
Right.
um, like I said, like I did with the elimination process. I stopped for 30 days. I did strictly juices, and then I started
Oh, you did
incorporating.
do the just juices.
I just did liquid for 30 days
Okay.
because I was tired of being sick.
Okay.
I couldn't keep anything down. It hurt so bad. And then, like I said, I wasn't losing weight. It was just such a which puts you in a whole nother place in depression. Think about that, because
Mm-hmm.
your clothes don't fit the way you want. You're just not happy, and then you can't sleep,
Mm-hmm.
you can't function. I mean, your intimacy, like everything is off balance. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I just was at a point where enough is enough. I cannot die in this space. You know what I'm saying? That's literally where I
Mm-hmm.
was. I will not die here. I will not die here.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do something about this myself, because if I don't, I will die. And like I was saying
That's
earlier,
right.
if you can hear me, is I started itching a lot. I found myself really itching. Like, I've never had any health problem like diabetes, heart blood. I don't have any of those, high blood pressure, diabetes, anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I found myself itching, itching, itching. I said, and I instantly
Hmm.
heard the Holy Spirit say, pre-diabetes. And
Hmm.
so I said, okay, enough is enough. you know. And so
Right.
We got to figure out what's going on, and we got to figure it out now, because I will not be sticking a needle in my butt. I knew that.
And the nutritionist is not bad to, a lot of people don't like that either. They don't want to see like research, like nutritionist information is good. Everything is not bad. It's just like, we got to get out of stigmatisms of learning and research and stuff for ourselves, so we can know some of the. Mhm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, I like to look at a lot of like nutritionists and stuff like that and their information. I'm an information person too. I
Me
like to
too.
get my
Yeah.
information, study my information, and even though you give me the information, I'm going to study as well. Yes.
I think it like we said before, I really think this boils down to discipline. I really
Very, very
think
much so.
that, we have to get out of our flesh of what pleases the flesh so much, wanting what you want and just and to hell with what happens afterwards, because we are
Mhm.
living the consequences of our decisions, our children, our health, our minds, and our bodies. And we're going to wrap up here in a minute, but our health, our
Yes.
minds, and our bodies, because we don't want to let our flesh go.
Yes. Yes. And that's a fight. That's still discipline though. Bible says it, we got to be disciplined. That's what we need. We need our discipline. And
We
a
don't want
lot
to be
of times that's what
uncomfortable.
it
We
is.
don't want to be
Yes.
uncomfortable. We
That's
don't want to
right.
be uncomfortable. And don't get me wrong. I understand. I've been there. And I know when you have other issues going on, bills, money, relationships, all this other thing. That's the one. Why I can't have that one thing I want? The cake, the pie.
Right. That's my comfort. That's my comfort zone.
So let me
Right.
have that. Dang it. Nothing else is working out for me right now. Let me be in that space. But at what cost? You know what I'm saying? Do you
Right.
continue
Right.
to do that to you and your family? And so,
Right.
I mean, I get on my family all the time. I mean, my mother-in-law and my husband, they drink soda all day long. I'm like, y'all, please drink water. Please drink some water. Like, my mother-in-law drives around with a case of water in her trunk, never pops one. You know what I'm saying? Never opens. I told them one day, I just don't understand how y'all don't stink. It should be coming out of your pores at this point. Your breath should stink. Your body should stink. Your hair should stink. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's no water. How do you live without water?
Yeah.
That's amazing to me.
Yes. Yes.
Like, your body is literally decaying on the inside.
And people don't realize that you can also eat certain foods that bring back water to you, like cucumbers and watermelon, and so
Lettuce,
you can
white
even eat.
salad.
You can
Yeah.
eat and that gives you water.
So
That
that's
helps with
another
water
thing.
intake as
Then they
well.
don't eat right on top of not drinking water. So,
Hmm.
these are the conversations I have all day long in my house. So I really stopped talking. I just stopped talking and be the example now, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because at some point, you just have to shut up and let people do what they're gonna do.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
do see, in me shutting up. My husband drinks water now. Like, he got a bottle of water over here now. You know what I'm saying? I think he's pretty much let the chicken go a lot. He's let a lot of chicken go because I stopped eating chicken. So he sees me, and he's incorporating a few things, but it takes time. And like I said, it took me how many years to get here? It takes them however long time it takes them to get here. So I have to understand that as well. I can't force feed anybody. I can't make anybody do what I do, because my way
Right.
is not necessarily right either. It's right for me, period.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
um, I'm not here to harp on that, but I do want people to be healthier. I want them to be aware of
Hmm.
what they're doing and how it's
Right.
affecting their bodies and their minds, because I see, and that comes from a lot of places. I see a lot of things. So, I have to just sometimes just back off and be okay. Just pray about it. Leave it to God. Let
Right.
God do what God do. Let him do his job. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hmm.
But anything you want to wrap up with before we go? Anything you want to leave the people with? And also tell them where to find you.
Okay, yes. So I just want to say again, as I still feel the urgency in me to say you, it does. Consistency is key. Knowing when to say no, enough is enough. Knowing that you're not a bad person if you set a boundary. Understand that it's okay to say no. Understand that anything that takes your peace costs too much.
Mhm.
And one day at a time is okay. Don't be trying to run too quick because it, even the Bible says the race is not given to the swift and time and chance happen to all things. Understand your time, get that, set some schedules for yourself that and boundaries where you say, okay, this is when I'm going to do this is what I'm going to do that. Because for me personally, my day is not started properly if I don't get up, I don't pray. I need this time to myself. Let me make a cup of tea. Let me do some recording. Let me do some of the things that is for beneficial for me. Let me, process what I need to do. And before, please, whatever you guys do, know that sometimes how deep it has been, you're going to need more help than just a prayer. Sometimes you're going to need learning coping skills, learning how to communicate in a healthy relationship. You're being so in so many toxic relationship. In a healthy relationship that looks like the enemy, you know what I mean? And so know that it's okay. You can find me, I am at Diamonds in the Rough Ministry on Facebook. I am here as Tramell, also Spirit McLaughlin on Facebook. I have a Diamonds in the Rough Ministry on Instagram as well, and you can find me there. I am working on some things. I just don't want to speak too advancedly on them, but I have some things working for me is where I walk in delivery and the mentality as well. I like to stay there. The food and stuff, trust me, I am there as well. But I believe that we got to take the nucleus out of the problem, and that is where the trauma began.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, we didn't even touch on trauma tonight. That's huge. I think we touched on it a lot in the episode 3. Go back and listen to episode 3, everybody. Share. If you
Yes.
enjoyed this, please let us know. Let me look at a few comments. Any questions before we go for the guest? Let me read some comments here. Hold on.
Okay.
Then we're gonna get off of here. Like I said, I try to do an hour, but since we were lagging today, um, trying to make sure that again, the class, if you want to register for the class, is up above. Also, if you would like to be a guest, email us eating for your mental health at Gmail. That's in the comments as well. Scroll up. Hopefully you can see it. I may have to put it in again.
Or pin it.
I was trying to figure out how to pin that. See, I told you I'm not listening. I am not that technology girl.
Okay.
So I know Paula said that's how I did cut out pork 5 years ago while pregnant with my son. All diets and meat, beef consumption and bacon are a weakness, but my ankles and leg had swollen. At one point, I looked pregnant and ready to pop by the leg. I noticed it happened more when I would eat pizza. Interesting.
Mm,
My blood
mm.
pressure, she had been consuming too much salt. Salt is huge. My blood pressure was wicked. My body began retaining fluids like crazy, so now I limit those. But anytime I have a pain or blow, I know it's because I ate preservatives. Wow. You must pay attention to your body. Your
Yeah,
body
your body
speaks to
will
you
tell
in
you.
every way.
Hmm.
Your body tells you
Hmm.
what works and what doesn't. Don't get me
That's
wrong,
right.
people's cravings are talking to you about something your body is missing. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So
It
even though
is.
we may say we want sugar, but your body may be craving something that sugar has. Does that make sense? It's a
Right.
nutrient that our
Absolutely.
body is lacking in, and that's what we need. Absolutely. Salt is huge. We have to read the ingredients. We don't read the ingredients. We just go and buy stuff because that's what we use, and we're not even reading what's in it.
Right.
That'll be in the class as well. I'm not going through that on here. Then we'll do that in the class. Natalie
Right.
wrote, I agree with this. I often share this on my platform. Thank you for adding the fact that help is needed to let go of these toxic relationships. Just
Yes.
telling someone that it's not enough.
That's what you call me for. I'm the target on that. I'm the target. I'm the
Yes,
target on
that's
that.
just your
Yes.
word. Just telling
Yes.
someone that it's not enough because it's based on belief systems that have been normalized. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
A lot
also
of
my area, that religious and traditional stuff. We got to tear that down. We got to tear that down before it tear you down.
Absolutely. Patterns of behavior that have been passed down. We just doing stuff because that's just how we've always done it.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean that we can't change people. We can
Right.
always make a decision because that's really what change is. Just making a conscious decision to not do that anymore. Yes, it's easy and it's hard all at the same time. I agree.
Absolutely.
That's why it's
Hmm.
called change. It doesn't
Yes.
necessarily feel good either. But
Right.
I promise you, you'll be better for it on the other side. Because, like I always say, you listen, you can either do nothing or you can do something. But whatever you do, you're making a decision and you're going to have a consequence from that decision. So,
Absolutely.
in not making a decision, you still made a decision. I think people don't realize that. But if I don't do nothing, nothing will happen. No, something happens. Something happens, and it may not always be what you want. So I leave you all with this. Thank you so much for joining us again. You can find Eating for Your Mental Health podcast on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Go back and watch if you missed anything. Please share. I'm going to learn how to pin one day. I'm going to learn how to pin the stuff up here one day. Let me see. Um, But please go register for the class. I promise you it's going to be worth it. We are going to go through toxic behaviors that have led you here. This is why we are dealing what we're dealing with mentally, physically, emotionally. We're going to talk about how to dump those behaviors and how to start over. We're also going to work on things so you can know your body, listening to your body, what to watch for, so you will know what to start incorporating and changing out of your diet. We're going to talk about recipes. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about everything in this class, 6 weeks class. Yes, there's a cost. Go look it up. Go register.
We're
Start
going to talk
business
about
first.
everything in this class, 6 weeks class. Yes.
Okay.
So thank you so much
Siri
again.
here. Let me know if I can help. Oh my goodness.
Prophetess, I appreciate you again. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for joining me. Everybody, thank y'all. Leave comments, share if you like it. If you don't like it, tell me only. Don't go tell the world. Um, if I can improve in any way, if you would like to be a guest, please reach out to me. I would love to have you. Again, I'm gonna get off of here. It's 10:39. I think it's been an hour since you got on. That's perfect. And we're gonna go. But I'll see you next week, Wednesday night, if the Lord permits. We'll be back here next Wednesday with a new guest, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place, same time. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
God bless.